This is Sarah, and I'm working on Noodle's feet still, his tasting feet. So I think I've finally figured out how to cram all three of the separate systems into one 4x9 inch footprint. Anyhow, so I have all these lovely pieces on the table, like splayed out. I finally finished printing everything. It took like the past 2 days to completely reprint everything from this past lovely prototype because I didn't want to kind of continue to hack around this and add to it because it's getting confusing. I kind of refined the design in CAD and then started fresh from scratch, and everything's kind of white, which is nice because Noodle's feet are white. So when I do get around to skinning these, they'll look pretty and clean and white, and everybody likes having clean feet. I'm going to aim this down because you don't really need to see my face. So the pieces that I have as of yet are the toe sheath. That's this chunky guy at the bottom that the toes poke out of through these channels. The planetary gear and cam, which is responsible for actually pushing the toes out through the channels. This is the toes themselves attached to their appropriate, I don't know what you'd call that. This thing, which is probably going to end up getting disassembled a little bit just so I can get everything into one package. This guy here is the capture plate for the top of the gear system. So I don't know, this is all going to come together and it will make sense. I installed these little popsicle stick bits. Those are eventually going to hold this tray right here. So it's basically the little gear tray. But before I stick this on top of these popsicle sticks, I have to thread this toe ring into the toe sheaths so that this will be captured underneath the tray once I install it. There we go. Okay, it's in. So all of the popsicle sticks are on the inside of the ring. I can now go ahead and drop the tongue. It has these guide rails that are just long screws that go down into small channels. There we go. Once I attempted to press down on the toe rings, like this one, all of the toes actuate, and there isn't any binding, it just sort of works. And I tried doing that with this guy, and like, all hell broke loose. I shattered 2 toes. Two broke, and I just, like, the first push. Yeah. Allow me to explain what I'm assembling right now. First and foremost, there is the toe apparatus, this magenta bit. It's responsible for driving the toes out these sheaths. There's a servo motor doing that. It's rotating this planetary gear that's spinning this cam, and the cam is pushing the toes out. This yellow system right here is basically responsible for driving his silicone tongue about 8 millimeters out the bottom of his foot via a parallelogram that's attached to this micro servo. And last but not least is Noodle's salivary system, which is in red here. There is a stepper motor that is rotating a threaded screw that drives the plunger of a feeding syringe up and down so that he can deliver a specific amount of fluid at his choosing. Okay, so I have finally finished assembling this miserable piece of shit. Just kidding. There's a lot of things that I need to tweak now that I actually have the physical thing in front of me, but for the most part, it's pretty solid. I think my next video will include all of the systems hopefully working together, and I'll maybe by next week have my first actual taste test with the Noodle foot apparatus. But until then, this is totally not a bomb.